Come on. There we go. I clicked it, but it just did not disengage. Hey, welcome to the Morning Devo with Bo-O. Where's my YouTube channel? Over there. It's over there. That's where it's at. And you can go to YouTube and click search and just go to my name, Bo Willette. And you'll see all of my archives there on these devotions. So anyway, I was saying I had a good workout this morning, so it was nice to get up early and go get the blood moving a little bit. I don't know where you're at in your day, but it's usually my time to at least crack open the Word, get in the Word, and kind of get a little focused today. So I don't know what you're drinking, but have a sip of it, and let's get into this. So we are in 1 Samuel 14b, which B just means, right, the second part. And so Jonathan did what Jonathan does, and that is Jonathan won a victory, a military victory, in a battle against the Philistines. And, Saul wasn't with him, and, hey, this is what Jonathan does. He's kind of the guy who does some amazing military action. And we get an idea here about Saul, his dad, Jonathan's dad, who's the king of Israel, but who's already been told that, hey, you know what, you're going to be out of it. You're not going to be in the king business much longer. But Saul, like a lot of us, we don't like we don't like bad news, what we consider bad news. And we certainly sometimes don't like judgment from God or discipline with God. Those things can be tough to deal with. And Saul, instead of just kind of surrendering, instead of just saying, there's things I need to learn, or, man, I blow it in this area. This is an area of sin. Saul just continues to kind of dig the hole deeper, so to speak. Have you ever been like that? Have you ever dug the hole a little deeper than maybe it needed to be dug? It kind of I think that's a quality we all have. We all tend to be that way. And you might think, well, man, I don't know if I have any holes that I've dug deep. Well, just think through it a little bit. And you might see like, man, there are areas in my life where, God, I have dug and I keep digging. So it says, and the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had placed the people under an oath. So Jonathan wins the victory. Saul, we saw before, likes to claim the honor of winning the victory. And, so there's some pride there with Saul for sure. And And like a lot of pride in leadership, we make some pretty bad decisions, right? They're based on our thing, the way we think, and sometimes they can be pretty bad decisions. And Saul places a oath on the people of Israel. And it's, "Cursed is the man who eats any food until evening before I have taken vengeance on my enemies." Now, why would you say something like that? Like, what is the deal? What's the point of saying this? Your son just gets done winning a victory. Remember him, Jonathan, and the armor bearer go total stealth mission into the Philistine camp. I think it's at Michmash or something like that. Cool name. And man, they just have a victory. But why does the dad get into this oath? Is it pride? Is it like insecurity? What is coming out of his heart? Is it like, oh my God, people are going to think my son's awesome, not me. I gotta do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an oath. No one eats any food until I defeat my enemies, Like, what's the point of this, right? Why do politicians say what they say, right? Why do they do what they do? Why do us in leadership in the church, maybe say what we say? Do we say something rash, something that makes no sense, something that's more emotional yuck than really the voice of God? Did God say to Saul, "Hey, cursed is the man who eats any food until evening"? No, it's just Saul just kind of going off cuff, going rogue, man. Just, that. And so when we have insecurities, discontentments, resentments, anger, fear, all those things, it creeps up out of us like this, right? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So where's my mouth? What's my mouth saying? What does it reveal about my heart? About where I'm at? That's, I think, what we get frustrated with, in the current climate, whether it's in the news or watching videos of leadership in the world, in the nation. I think we all see clearly that something's not right. That when you talk like that, there's something going on in you. Or I think a lot of us kind of have that idea of like, man, you just shouldn't be saying that. There should be a better way to articulate, but it's hard when our hearts are just really not at peace. And there's a lot of stuff in there. It comes off very manipulative. And isn't this a little manipulative, right? "Cursed is the man who eats any food until evening before I have taken vengeance on my enemies." I mean, why do you have to manipulate these men? Right? Like, why do you have to try to alter their well-being so that you can have your place in political victory? Right? How are the men just puppets to the political system of the day? Right? Saul is the politician. He is the machine. He's the one who's giving out the propaganda that Saul has won the victory. But these men, they can't. Why does he have to inflict on other people that are innocent for the sake of his political reputation? Do you see how it comes off? That manipulation is a sign. It's a sign of what? Well, we could say generally it's a sign of sin. Yeah, but it's a sign of a hurt heart, right? A big, giant, hurt heart. And when people get mad and someone talks to them while they're picketing and they scream and the activists are just screaming all the time, that is a sign of a damaged heart and mind. They're sad, there's discontentment, there's anger, there's bitterness, there's rage. There's all these things that just reveal the heart, right? Something's going on. And when politicians manipulate, when corporations manipulate, it's like Saul, right? And it's like us. I can't get myself out of that either. I need a savior. And so it says, so none of the people tasted food. Now all the people of the land came to a forest. Now remember, this is like wartime. Now all the people came to the forest, and there was honey on the ground. And when the people had come, remember, he had his 600 troops with him. It says, no one put their hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan had not heard his father's charge, or had heard his father's charging the people with the oath. Therefore he stretched out the end of his rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in the honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his countenance brightened. Then one of the people said, your father strictly charged the people with an oath, saying, cursed is the man who eats food this day. And all the people were faint. Now, notice, you have one person who has no clue what's going on. That's Jonathan. He's just doing things, man. He didn't hear the king. He wasn't disobeying his dad. He just was hungry. War kind of takes a little bit out of you, I'm sure. And it seems like a big workout, And so there's some honey, dips his staff in it, takes it in his hand, eats away. No one else does, for they feared Saul. Isn't that interesting? That's how control happens, whether it's in a home or that's how it works politically, right? Over a people group is fear. If Saul can create enough fear in the people, then the people will not do what is logically the right thing to do, which makes the most sense. Instead, they'll throw out logic and sense because they are fearing the ruling power. Do you see how all this is just what goes on every day all over the planet? That's right. Pretty interesting, huh? So the people are afraid, and because they're afraid, they throw out the good senses and they just do what Saul says. Jonathan, on the other hand, is not paying attention. What? He's just like, whatever, man. You guys you guys want to do that? You guys think that's going to help? Okay, go your way. But the logical thing is this, right? Like, maybe the logical thing is this. Like, think of it this way. In our day and age, maybe the logical thing is not so much to take so many things that all the commercials are about, right? Most of our commercials are about these things to take. Maybe the common sense is maybe I have to get healthy. Maybe I have to be careful what I drink or what I eat. Yeah, that makes sense, right? You got to eat good stuff, safe stuff, right? To be able to make sure the body's somewhat okay. But, if you throw out that common sense, right, then we got all kinds then we just run off of what these people say. So I think you get it. But you notice Saul is just really, really, just like our day, man, we're just really a mess as human beings. And it says, now they have driven back the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ajalon. So the people were very faint. The people rushed on the spoil and took sheep, oxen, calves, and slaughtered them on the ground, and the people ate them with the blood. Oh, man. Woo! After a victory in battle, all the people are so famished, they start eating, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, they just start, it sounds like it's raw. I mean, it doesn't sound too good. Then Saul said, look, the people are sinning against the Lord by eating with the blood. So Saul says, hey, yeah, I've become spiritual all of a sudden. Look how evil you guys are. Another thing, ruling powers love to what? Point out the evils of others without looking to the evils of them. This is a big problem, not just with ruling powers structures, but it's with humans, because ruling power structures are human beings, right? And so us human beings, check out this. What we like to do is point out other people's evil, and we always say you, when it's me too. I'm a part of the human condition as well, the human race as well. I too have an issue. So I can point at someone and say, you're a prejudice, you're this, you're that, you're that. But what about me? What about me? Where is my issue, right? And the only reason I don't want to look at me is because fear, insecurity, anger, resentment, right? All those things. And Saul here raises that great prideful thing of, boy, everybody's so evil. You know, look at them. Look at what they do. Look at those girls in that place. Look at what they do. Look at those guys. It's awful. Look at this. Look at that. Always pointing the finger. Never seeing their own beautiful self-righteousness in all its glory. Man. And so he said, you have dealt treacherously. Roll a large stone to me this day. So Saul said, disperse yourselves among the people and say to them, bring me here every man's ox and every man's sheep, slaughter them here and eat, and do not sin against the Lord by eating the blood. So bring everything to me. I'm going to do this thing right? I'm the one who's going to fix it, right? Another big thing of the world we live in today. There's those that say they can fix everything, right? Really? Do you trust it? Do you trust that kind of language? Right? Do you think they're going to fix everything? Right? What are they going to fix? Oh, we're going to fix everything. You're not going to have anything to worry about. We're going to give you more money. We're going to send you $5 actually in your mailbox. It's going to be amazing. You know, we're going to actually cut your taxes by 0.00003%, you know, whatever it is, you know, but it always comes off as they got the great answers. Under their leadership, everything's great, right? Now Saul said, let us go down after. And he builds an altar, by the way. And let's plunder until evening, till morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they answered, do whatever seems good to you. So the priest said, let us draw near to God here. So Saul asked counsel of God, shall I go after the Philistines? Will you deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he did not answer him that day. And Saul said, come over here, all you chiefs of all the people, and know and see what this sin was today. And as the Lord lives, so he gets this idea from the priest that, hey, it's not maybe going to go well, or I'm not supposed to go. And it seems like he's thinking there's some kind of sin going on, right? Someone's got to be blowing it, man. People are eating blood. You know, we got Draculas going on everywhere, vampires. Everybody's turned into vampire, eating blood. You know, what's going on? Did someone eat the honey? Did someone eat, you know, when I told them not to eat? All this stuff. Who sinned? You know, again, demonization, right? To demonize people, someone, right? That's a sign of something's wrong too, right? When it's always that person's fault. It's always that entity's fault. We got to be careful, right? Yeah, the government has some issues, no doubt. Yeah, but guess what? It's run by humans. We're part of the human race. We got a problem too. You know, we got to work on us. It says, but not a man among them answered, right? And he says, Saul says in verse 39, for as the Lord lives, who saves Israel, though it be Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. If he sinned, if he broke my oath, he's going to die. And And he said to all Israel, you be on one side, and my son Jonathan and I will be on the other. And the rest of the chapter, we see that it ends up being Jonathan. Jonathan is found out as the one who partook of the honey, broke the insane command of Saul, right, to not eat until he has victory. But the priest said, hey, don't go up, right? God's not spoken. So he thinks something's up. Something's wrong. I'm not getting a good read on this from God, so something's wrong with us. And so Jonathan is found out, and it says here, Jonathan says, hey, I must die, right? Hey, if I did it, hey, I must die. And that Jonathan's, man, got this amazing faith. Hey, if you got to kill me, kill me. You know, maybe like Job, Jonathan really believed that he would live again. And so he's like, yeah, go ahead, kill me, but it's not the end of me. Very interesting. So Saul answered, God, do so and more also, and you shall surely die, Jonathan. That's what he says to his own son. But the people said to Saul, shall Jonathan die, who has accomplished this great deliverance in Israel? Certainly not. As the Lord lives, not one hair of his head shall fall to the ground, for he has worked with God this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, and he did not die. And Saul returned from pursuing the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. Finally, the people went, you know what? Enough. We're not going to listen to you, Saul. We're going to turn off the news. Turn it off, right? Yeah, so we see a lot of things. The rest of the chapter, you can read it through. It just talks about a little bit of a narration of Saul's continued wars and his ancestry. But we really see in Saul here just a lot of what we see in our own day and age. It really shows us that nothing's new under the sun, right? Nothing's new in this world. That we do, as human beings, have a incredible precisional way about us to just repeat matters. We just can't seem to get out of them. We are in a box, and we can't get out of it. And it's this flesh. It's our fleshly appetites. They dominate us. And we need salvation. And so much. We need to surrender, learn how to walk humbly before our God, realizing that it's his mercy and grace that saves us. So instead of maybe beating up on Saul a little bit like so many do in the Bible, maybe we just need to realize that we all are a little bit like Saul, you know. And this morning, just remember that we too, need a lot of grace and a lot of mercy. And that as we receive that, we extend that to others, to people in our world who definitely need to see Jesus and not us. So, cool Devo, good chapter. Glad we got a chance to finish it. So glad you guys in the comment corner got a chance to hang with me as well. So God bless you. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. Bye-bye.